Good morning, dear students. So today I am going to teach you one topic which will tell you that there are certain activities which we are performing in our daily life, and that particular thing is very much responsible and helpful for performing the daily routine activities. It's just a simple question. Does any one of you know what makes us walk, what makes us help in eating, or what makes a moving ball stop after some time? Is any one of you aware? Okay, Ria, you have raised your hand. Kindly unmute yourself. What is that thing?
Ma'am, that is friction.
Okay, very good. So today's topic, kindly look to the board. Today our topic is friction. There are certain learning objectives. There are certain things which you will come to know, right, about the friction. First of all is the definition. How you define the term friction. Then you will come to know where friction is playing important role and the difference between the three types of frictions. So there are three learning objectives which will be covered in the today's topic. To understand the term definition, to know the role of friction and what are the different types of friction. So like students, like Ria has now told that there is friction. If I have a chalk in my hand, I will just push this chalk little bit, and after some time it will stop itself. So why this chalk has stopped itself? Because of the friction which was provided by the table. So this thing I just wanted to explain you now. When there are two objects, the upper one and the lower one, let lower one be the table, upper one be the chalk. When I slide the chalk, so table opposed its motion. So this is the force which is opposing the movement of another object which is sliding over it. That is known as friction. Now let me share a PPT with you and tell you a little bit more interesting things. Okay, students, here in this PPT, first of all, I will let you know about the definition. The force which opposes the motion of one object over the another, this is known as friction. Now, if I talk about the causes, this is very important thing. What are the causes of friction? First is the surface of the bodies or the object in contact. Second will be the weight of the bodies or the objects in contact. And the third one will be the friction, which is going to depend on the shape of the body. So shape of the body is also going to decide the friction. So there are three reasons, and I will show you these three reasons in activity also and in a video also. But before showing you the activity, I just wanted to know, just visualize that how this friction is so important. So just see a video. There is a very good video which will give you a good clarity about the friction. So the friction is something now you have understood. It is going to occur in between the two surfaces. One surface is going to oppose the movement of the another surface, right? Okay, here is a very good video which will give you good clarity.
Uh-oh. was close. No one stopped the plates, yet they all came to rest. What caused them to slow down and stop? Let's see. A certain force opposes the relative motion between two surfaces in contact. This is called the force of friction. The force of friction exists between any two surfaces in contact. It's this friction that slowed down and stopped the plates from sliding further. What would have happened if there was no friction at all? The plates would have continued to slide without stopping. Oops! Without friction, life would never be the same. We'll never be able to walk, or even eat our food. Without friction, everyone and everything would just slip and fall. Now, let's look at some examples of friction. The surface of the carom board exerts frictional force on the striker, thereby causing it to slow down. The frictional force on the surface of the slide slows down the speed of the child sliding. And the golf course opposes the motion of the ball and brings it to a halt. So, friction is a force that opposes the motion between two surfaces.
So one more video related to the friction, and then I will be explaining you.
Jamshed is having a great time skating. It's time to go home, and his roller skates are slowing down. Why do you think they're slowing down? Well, friction is causing the roller skates to slow down. But what causes friction? To find out, let's take a closer look at the two surfaces involved: the floor and the wheels of the roller skates. Even though the surfaces look smooth, a microscopic view shows that there are many irregularities. That is, projections and depressions on the surfaces. This unevenness causes the surfaces to get interlocked and oppose the motion. That's how the roller skates slowed down and came to a halt. Now that we know interlocking of surfaces causes friction, let's find out about the friction on different surfaces. Here's a toy car and there are 3 different tracks. Let's see how far the car moves on each surface. Shoot the surface and click on the hand to release the car. Didn't move much, did it? Sandpaper is rough and has many irregularities on its surface. So the friction between the sandpaper and the wheels of the car is high. That was quite a distance, wasn't that? Glass is smooth and has fewer irregularities on its surface. So, the friction between the glass and the wheels of the car is low. That was not bad. Wood is rougher than glass and smoother than sandpaper. That is, it has more irregularities than glass and fewer irregularities than sandpaper. So the friction between the wooden surface and the wheels of the car is moderate.
So here students, there is one clarity that if the surface is rough like a sandpaper, then car is unable to move a longer distance. If it will be a moderate type of surface having a moderate roughness like a wood, then car will move little bit more ahead as compared to the sandpaper. And if we use a glass which is very much smooth, so in the glass the car is going to move far away. So this is the simple activity. Now the same activity here I will be showing you. So just wait. So here I am going to show you the same activity students, but we are using different things, right? Here what we are using, I am using the empty matchboxes. This matchbox has a sandpaper applied at its base. This matchbox also has a sandpaper at its base, and this matchbox, it is covered with a foil paper. Now students, what we have to observe and understand in this is, we are providing two rough surfaces. I have also applied the sandpaper over the cardboard on one side. So if I'll keep this matchbox with a sandpaper at the back side over this sandpaper strip, so here I am providing two rough surfaces. I will use another matchbox with a sandpaper on one side, but here the cardboard is smooth. So one rough and one smooth surface. And the third one, a matchbox which is covered with a foil paper. So purpose of covering it with a foil paper is only to provide the smoothness. When I'm touching it, it is really smooth. So I will keep it here. Now students, what will be done? I will be keeping them on the same level, and now I will be tilting it. So when I will be tilting it, you will see that this matchbox which was covered with a foil paper, it slipped earlier. So then I will give a little more tilt. So this matchbox also slided, and now I'm tilting it more, and you could see almost I am tilting it, and now it was almost near the 90 degrees when the third matchbox slided away. So now from here, there is one clarity students, that if in the third case, the matchbox has taken longer time to slip like this, it was only because of the two rough surfaces in between. So almost I was there on 90 degrees when this third matchbox slided away. So here is one more important information for you, that if two objects are present and they are having a rough surface, then here gravitational force has to play a role. Again, you see, I am just tilting it, and the moment it will fall down, you have to understand that gravitational force increases when the force of friction, then only it will tilt down. So here, one thing is clear, that if force of friction is there, 100% that force of friction is going to depend on the object, surface of the object. If the two surfaces will be rough, force of friction will be maximum. If two surfaces will be, smooth, the force of friction will be minimum. And if one surface is rough, one is smooth, then the force of friction will be moderate. Now let me share a PPT and show you. Yes, students. I'll pick one student and ask you one of the questions from this activity which we have performed. Pushkar, can you respond, bache?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Pushkar. I wanted to ask you, if I will give you two things. One thing is having a rough surface, and another is also having a rough surface. Sorry, if I will give you two things, one is having a rough surface and another is also having a rough surface, then according to you, force of friction will be minimum or maximum?
Ma'am, maximum.
Maximum. Right. Okay, let me pick one more student. Let it be Ashray. Unmute
Yes,
yourself.
ma'am.
Okay, Bache, I just wanted to ask this. I have given you two objects. One is having the smooth surface and another is having a rough surface. So according to you, force of friction will be minimum, moderate or maximum?
Ma'am, can you repeat?
I am giving you two objects. One object is with rough surface and another object is with a smooth surface. So
Yes, ma'am.
force of friction will be minimum, moderate or maximum?
It will be moderate.
It will be moderate. Very good. So I hope this activity is understood by you all. Now, one more thing here I want to explain you. So for that, just wait, let me use a whiteboard.
Ma'am, your voice is not audible.
Okay, students, sorry, the meeting was disconnected from one side. I am repeating one activity. This is a matchbox which is empty from one side, and here is also the second matchbox which is empty. This activity is going to tell you that how weight is also responsible for the friction here. So the meeting got disconnected in between, but I wanted to show you the second reason. The second reason is that the weight is also responsible for the friction. For example, if one object is having a lighter weight and another is having a more weight or a heavy weight, then what will happen? The one which is having the heavy weight which is having the heavy weight will face more force of friction, and the one which is having a lighter weight, that will face less force of friction, right? So what I will do in this activity, I will add the matchsticks here. I will add the matchsticks here in one of the matchbox. The purpose of adding the matchsticks here in the matchbox is just to increase the weight. Is just to increase the weight of this matchbox. And another matchbox which I am using here, this is the empty one. Right? Now, students, what I will do, I will keep these two matchboxes. This is the heavy one with matchsticks inside. This is the lighter one. Now I have kept it here, and I am going to slide a card. So the one which is the heavier one will not move, and the one which is the lighter one, it will move. Just wait for 1 second. I'm connecting through laptop again. So this information tells us that if the weight is more, then force of friction will also be more, and sliding will be seen less, right? Okay, so here I want to show you one more thing. Related to the weight, I will repeat this activity again. So there is one empty matchbox and another one which is filled with the matchstick. So this one is filled now. Now when I will slide it, I will see that the one which is empty, it is sliding, and the one which is heavy, I will lift it up, but still I cannot see that it is sliding much. Now it is slided. So this activity clearly tells us that the weight of the object is also responsible, that the weight of the object is also responsible for the force of friction. The heavy one will go slowly because of the more weight, force of friction will be more, and the lighter one, it has to slide away. Now telling you the very important concept that why this happens. So there is a very important thing which every one of you should know. The hills and the valleys, or the elevations and the depressions. So there is something known as the hills and the valleys, or the elevations and depressions, which will give you a clear-cut picture. Now I will show you this activity here on a whiteboard. We have chosen 3 different conditions. In one condition, we have used the smooth surface, a cardboard, second one, and a third one. So we have used cardboard here, but to one of the cardboard, what we did, we have added let me use red color, it will give you more clarity. So on one of the cardboard, I have placed sandpaper. So this red color represents the sandpaper. Now students, what will happen? When I have placed a sandpaper here, and now when I am going to keep a matchbox over it, and this matchbox also, it was covered by the sandpaper. Why I am making it so rough is just to make you understand that sandpaper is rough. Now when it was seen properly, then we got to know that there are some elevations and depressions here on the cardboard, and on the upper side also, because of the sandpapers which were applied on the cardboard as well as on the base of the matchbox. So these were the things which were seen, and these are known as the elevations and depressions. So these elevations and depressions are more in case of rough surfaces. Hence, what is there? What will be there? There will be, we can say, maximum friction. So if rough surfaces are there, these are the elevations or depressions. We can also call these elevations and depressions as the hills and the valleys. Now in the second case, we only used the sandpaper below the matchbox, not over the cardboard. So this was a matchbox and we have only applied the sandpaper below the matchbox or on the base of the matchbox. So this was only the surface which was rough. Here cardboard was smooth. Now if we will see, what we are going to observe, that there are elevations and depressions on the upper side, but this cardboard was smooth. So cardboard is not going to show any elevations and depressions. In this case, students, what information we will get? The information which we will get here is that the hills and valleys or the elevations and depressions are only on the one side. So let me also write down hills or valleys or elevations and depressions are on one side, due to which moderate friction will be there. And when there will be a moderate friction, then you observe that this matchbox slided on the second number, right? Okay. Now the third case, we had a cardboard and we took a matchbox directly. We have not applied sandpaper on any of the locations, neither on the matchbox nor on the sandpaper. So when these two surfaces were in contact, actually no elevations, no depressions were observed here. So this was like the surface of the matchbox, and below there was a surface of the cardboard like this. So in this, students, in this case, what do we understand? Now here we will understand that if the two surfaces are smooth, so if two surfaces are smooth, then there will be minimum friction. And because of the minimum friction, there will be maximum movement which will be seen. So this activity, the first one, shows us the clear difference, that why the two rough surfaces did not allow the matchbox to slide immediately. Why the matchbox which was covered with a foil paper, it slided immediately, right? So we get a good clarity. This can also be the question. I can formulate the question in this way also. Like there was a two objects, one with rough, one with a smooth surface, but it showed a minimum friction. Give reasons. So here your answer will be that the object which is having a rough surface is providing more elevation and depression, or the hills and the valleys, whereas the one which is smooth is not providing any hills and valleys. So this is the reason that these two objects are going to face a moderate type of friction. So this is how reason-based questions can also come, right? Now, I will like to discuss a quiz with you people. I will be taking out the names randomly. Try to read the question, understand it properly, and then answer me the right one. Okay, students. So, Agamjeet, can you unmute yourself? Agamjeet, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but just tell me which of the following is false. Friction opposes motion. Friction is caused by irregularities on the surfaces of object, or friction is always disadvantageous, or the friction depends on the shape of the object.
Ma'am, C. Friction is always disadvantages.
Okay, let us see. Yes, Agamjeet, you are right. Okay. Next student. Wait, let me call the names. Okay, Harmanpreet, can you unmute yourself? Harmanpreet, unmute yourself, bache. Harmanpreet. Okay, Riya, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Riya, just try to answer this. An undesirable production of heat due to friction would be.
Ma'am, I think it would be depart heat generated when a machine runs continuously.
Okay, let me read all the options. An undesirable production of be applying balm to reduce pain, rubbing of your palms together during the winter season, the striking of a matchstick with a matchbox, or the heat generated when machine runs continuously. So Ria is saying D option. So this is right. Okay, one more question, then I will be giving you the information about other types of friction also, and one more thing which is responsible for friction. Yashkirat, can you unmute yourself? Yashkirat.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but you try this. If the force is applied to an object in the direction of its motion, then the speed of object increases, decreases, remains unchanged, or none of the above. If the force is applied to an object in its direction, right? Like I have a ball, I am applying the force in this direction. So now the speed of this object is going to increase, decrease, remain unchanged, or none of the above.
Ma'am, A, it will increase.
Okay. So this is right. So students, now I hope you have understood this concept now. Now there is one more reason. Apart from the surfaces and the weight of the object, there is one more reason, student, which is responsible for the friction. That is the shape of the object. So let me share a PPT. Here you will get one more activity related to this. Okay, this we have done, that if two objects are rough, it will show maximum friction. If one object is smooth and other is rough, it is moderate friction. And if two objects are smooth, there will be a least or minimum friction. Then weight of the object also we have seen by adding the matchsticks in one of the matchbox. So we saw the matchbox which was heavy, it slided later than the one which was empty. And the third reason here is the shape of the object and the area of contact. So like, for example, I have this ball which is round in shape and I have this book. So I have a ball and a book. What is the shape? The shape of the book is flat and the shape of the ball is round. Now what I have to do, I will apply same amount of force to both of these. I am going to apply the same amount of force to the ball as well as to the book. Yes, a ball and a book are here, right? So now what I will do, I will just give a gentle push and that too of equal amount. So in this activity, you have seen that ball has moved away as compared to the book. Again, I can repeat this. I will just give a gentle push to the ball and the book. So we have seen that ball moved away, but the book is little bit has displaced from its position. Now the reason here, students, was because when the surface is more and the surface is coming in contact with the surface of the table, so it is providing more friction. More the object is flat, more it is in contact with another surface, there will be more force of friction. And if we talk about the objects like ball, so this is round in shape. If I'll keep it here, only one side of the ball is going to touch, and when I will give a gentle push, it will just move, it will take rounds, and but the purpose is very little area of this ball will be in contact. This is the reason. Is it clear? Now students, if something is lying, right, like you could see a book lying here. This book is showing a static friction. There are three types of friction. Anything which is lying, even the sofas at your home or the table chair at your home, anything which is lying at a position, that is showing a static friction. Now this book is also showing a static friction. The moment I will want to move this book, I have to apply some force from this side. But the thing is this, the force should be more. But when I am going to apply force, there will be some resistance which will be faced. The maximum static friction which is faced by this book in opposing its motion, that is known as a limiting friction. Like if I want to push a box, a heavy box, I will start applying a force, but the box is not moving. Now there will be one point when my force is just equal to the weight of that box and I am just pushing it like this. Now at that time, there will be a maximum static friction which that box will face in order to not move ahead. So that is known as the limiting friction. वो limit करता है object कि मुझे move करना ही नहीं है. That is a limiting friction. But when my force will become more than a limiting friction, now I have to move this book, I will apply a gentle push. So here, when the book moved, so I have crossed that hurdle, which is known as a limiting friction, and I force the book to move. And when the book is moving, this is known as the kinetic friction. When anything is moving, at that time, the friction which that object faces, that is known as the kinetic friction. Now, there is very simple activity. After that, I will be ending up with the class. Kinetic friction is of two types. One is static friction and another is the rolling friction. So this kinetic friction is of two types. Sorry, one is sliding friction and another is the rolling friction. You have seen the example here. What does the sliding friction means? It is sliding like this. I am just pushing it to slide anything. This is known as a sliding friction. Another is known as a rolling friction. And students, in rolling friction, two surfaces are not in direct contact with each other. In rolling friction, there are some rollers in between the two surfaces, right? So what I will use, I will show you one activity here. Okay, students, you might be looking here. So this is a wooden block. I have kept it here. I have tied it with a string, and this is a pan in which I am going to put some weight. So this is a wooden block. Now let me put up some weight here. This is up to 50 grams. When I have put the weight, so this wooden block had moved. It means when something is to slide, we have to apply more force and more pressure. Now, one thing more I want to show you, the rolling friction. In rolling friction, what I am going to do? I am going to apply some rollers. Rollers can be anything. Now when I will put up some rollers below this wooden block, then you will be surprised to see that this pan is empty. I am not putting the weight, but due to the rollers, without any weight, this wooden block has moved ahead. This movement of a wooden block ahead, right, is a direct example which shows us that sliding friction is more than the rolling friction. Rolling friction, because of the rollers we have applied, is always less. So now if I will give you an activity, 5 of the students, I will give you a log of a wood to just push it and slide it. So those students are going to put more effort. But if I will give an activity to another 5 students, I will just say to just push it, try to roll the log of wood and make that wood reach that part. So those students will face less difficulty because they are just rolling the log of wood. So rolling friction is less than the sliding friction. This was an activity related to that. Okay, thank you so much, students, for keeping patience and also responding very well. Thank you so much.